Excellence has been kidnapped. Mediocrity runs rampant. Will you come to the rescue? Carrie and I are super excited about our final 3 DIY training intensives. We're calling all 3 of these SWAT, Special Weapons and Tactics, and they're going to cover the next 3 Saturdays. Each one could really stand alone, but we believe that it's critical that they come together into one unit. And each Saturday, we're going to be getting together from 9 a.m. to noon and covering 3 missions. Now, the first mission that we're going to be starting with this Saturday is called Epic Content. You've heard it a million times that content is king. It's really what separates us from everyone else. It's what determines whether or not Google is going to rank us and keep us at the top of the rankings, all because of the content that we share. And it's really what gives us our freedom. You know, everybody's got this big picture of coming online, doing business, getting things rocking, and suddenly having all this freedom so that we can do what we want, when we want. We get to enjoy life. We get to call the shots. And you guys know that Carrie and I faced that in our own life, that we decided that we were going to take control of our lives so we'd have time for our families, so that we'd have time for our children, and we'd be able to do exactly what we always wanted to do. And so when people see the internet, and maybe even when you look at your keyboard, you see freedom, because freedom is right there in the middle of all those symbols, letters, and numbers, because they generate the content for your business, which leads to freedom. But unfortunately, anybody can produce content today. A few years ago, it was incredibly difficult to get a web page up. You had to hire someone or you had to learn HTML. And what that did is it forced good content because everybody and their brother couldn't just be out there doing it. But now anybody can set up a site. Because of WordPress, anyone can get set up today and start their own site. There are so many softwares out there that do mass content generation, that scrape content and put it out there and just fill the internet up with junk. It's not real content at all. It's certainly not helpful. It's not valuable. And anybody gets to do it. Now, even worse, because anybody out there who wants to start a business can, there's a lot of boring content out there. Dull. It's just human tranquilizers gone crazy. And so people are coming to sites and they're like, you know what, I don't like this. Boom, they're gone. I don't like that. Boom, they're gone. Man, this is putting me asleep. Boom, they're gone. But the good news is it's pretty easy to stand out because there's so much boring content. But there's also confusing content. And that's the other thing. We can't be epic if we're boring, and we can't be epic if we're confusing. And right now, a majority of the sites that are out there are either extremely dull or extremely overwhelming. So I want to give you 5 degrees of content. We'll start at the lowest level, and we'll build up to the epic level. And you can either rank yourself if you want to, or you can have a friend rank you, or you can use these as you're surfing, figuring out, hey, you know, where in the world are all these sites that I'm going to ranking? The number 1 is caution. This is the lowest level. It's the most boring level. It's the most unhelpful level. It's where the content itself is really not even worth you reading the first paragraph. So if this is 1 to 5, this is a 1. It may actually be a -2. It's content that is like everybody else's. It's generic. It is content that maybe has been scraped from somewhere else. And I guarantee you that since you're watching this video, that this is not your content, unless you're into some sort of mass generating auto blogging. Then it is. But this is the type of content that nobody returns to ever again. So if you got this lowest level of content, nobody's coming back to your site. You're certainly not going to make any money. Secondly is mediocre content. I like this image. Hunt down mediocrity and punch it in the neck. You know, I think that we've got to do that. That we cannot simply produce something that is mediocre. Now, this is subpar. Mediocre to me is not the median. It's not the middle. You know, this is level 2 here. You know, 1 was that caution. It's the worst degree. 2 is it's just being mediocre. To me, it's below average. It's not simply that I'm like everybody else, I'm kind of blending in. No, you hadn't even reached the median level if you're mediocre. So we've got to be on guard with that. We've got to make sure that we're not using a lot of cliche language when we're writing or when we're making videos or on our podcast. We've got to make sure that we're not saying exactly what everybody else is saying. It doesn't mean that we've got to be creative geniuses and through the roof shocking everybody at every turn. But it does mean that if you're mediocre, you just blend in. There's no way that you stand out and separate yourself. And quite honestly, we're not drawn to those type of people. There's never been a time in our lives that we thought, I'm looking for a friend. Maybe I can find somebody that's mediocre. Or if you've gone to see a movie and your friend asks you about it, what was that movie like? It was mediocre. Is that friend now going to go, cannot wait. Been waiting for a mediocre movie. Been waiting for one to come out. Finally. Nope, it never happens. We stay away from, we run from, we disengage anything that is mediocre because we can't stand it. We think that it's weak. So we've got to move beyond this level. Third level is where it's okay. This is median to me. It's okay. It's all right. And so somebody might ask you about, again, a movie, and you could say, it's okay. So what's that mean? They might go see it. They might not. You're kind of putting the ball in their court. It's up to them to determine whether or not they're going to like it and going to want to stay with it. When we have okay videos and writing, and what we're doing is putting all of the decision in the court of the consumer, of our clients, of our readers, of our subscribers. And we're saying, look, I'm going to put something out there. It's going to be okay. And hopefully you can get something from it. You see that median level, the average level here in the middle at stage 3, degree 3, it's still really weak, right? It's not the best positioning. It's not where we really want to be. Now, the truth is you can make a little bit of money here, because people can decide for themselves and figure it out. You didn't really go for the throat. You didn't really knock them out with anything. It was okay. Next is good. This is a good blog. So if it's good, I probably would come back to it. I would give these folks another chance, and I bet you would too. So when our writing is good, our videos are good, or whatever else is good, people like that. And so, we're going to be talking about epic here in a second, but good really does give us some positioning. Good really does help us out and make it possible for us to have a good business. So even think about all these things business-wise. Do you want a level 1 business that makes no money and people run from you? You want a level 2 business it's mediocre? Yeah, I want a business that's mediocre. Do you want business that's okay? Or do you want a business that is good? Yeah, it still wouldn't be bad. I love a good business, right? So this is a good, safe stage. To me, it's really the minimum stage that we want to be in is good. And then finally, we can get epic. When we get epic, things just get off the charts. They get crazy. We're making more money. We've got a ton of readers and subscribers. We've got people waiting to hear from us. When the Avengers came out, I thought, man, this is crazy. There's no way you can be able to put all these superheroes in one movie, keep the storyline, and make it fun. Well, they did. And it was epic. And it made a boatload of money for the producers, for the actors, for the writers, for anybody that was really involved at a higher level. So epic is really good. It's great. And the reason that Carrie and I are going to do this training is because there are 7 advantages to being epic. So if you want to have epic content and you really want to rock it, here are 7 advantages for you. Number 1, it's a list launcher. The better your content, the more people opt in, the more they tell other people about it, and the more your list grows. Your list can grow with good content. Don't make any misjudgment about that. It's possible. But epic content, it's a list launcher. People love to opt in because they've already seen some of your content, read some of your content, and you're not having to sell them through a free bribe. You're not having to bribe them at all because they can't wait for it. Secondly, it catapults credibility. When you're out writing or recording, speaking, presenting, making videos, when you're out doing everybody else, it catapults credibility. Now you may be thinking already, you're a little bit nervous. Well, I don't know if I can do epic. Listen, the world out there, 90+% of the internet is dull, boring, mediocre. So epic just means you're going to stand out. It's going to catapult your credibility because suddenly people are going to be like, I need to listen to her. I need to listen to him. And it's going to put you in a higher standing automatically. See, credibility is not all about having the degree or having the right initials behind your name. Credibility is about presenting to your market in a way that they say, yes, that's exactly right. I want to be in his space. I want to be in her space. And that's what epic content does. Return readers. You don't have to beg people to come back to your site. You don't have to tell people, hey, don't forget where I am, because you're unforgettable. We remember things that are important to us. So readers will return. Listen, I'm a big fan of several bloggers. I do not have their blog bookmarked. Why? Because I return to it. I can't forget it. I go back almost every single day. That's what happens when you got epic content. An anxious audience. An audience that can't wait for you to produce the next video or the next podcast or write the next article or release the next PDF or release the next short report. They can't wait. They're anxious. In fact, they will write you and ask you when the next one's coming out. I just had somebody email me and said, hey, Paul, when's the next X coming out? I'm waiting on that. You get an anxious audience when you have epic content. Important invites. Right now, you're probably out there trying to get some guest posts, trying to get invited, do some interviews, etc. Epic content, it reverses. You start getting contacted. You start getting invited for guest posts. You're the one that people are approaching. When you're cautious, when you're mediocre, you don't get any invites at all, and you can't even get anybody to listen to you. They won't even return your emails. When you get to okay and good, you still don't actually have a lot of leverage. I hear people all the time say, you know, I tried to do this, JB, nobody get back with me. When you're epic, the important people start to contact you. Fame and fortune. Yeah, this may not even be important to you. But getting known really makes a difference when it comes to fortune. I've gotten so many of these big guru launches for free because they just ship them to my house. Why? Because I've got some fame and fortune in my arenas online. But how did that happen? Epic content. Fierce feedback. Trying to get people to comment on your blog, trying to get people to email you back when it comes to something that you wrote or a video, etc. Well, you don't have to worry about that with epic content. People love to leave comments. And the more comments you have, the more social proof you have, the more engaged people are, the bigger your business gets. So those are your 7 advantages of epic content. And this Saturday, with the first mission of SWAT, we're going to be covering that. September 29th, 9 to 11. The replays are available immediately after the live webcast. Boom, they're going to be up, so you're not going to miss anything if you can't be there live. If you can't be there live, you actually get your questions answered. You know, these 7 things that I just hit super quick are the key to your business. And epic content makes it possible. And we're going to show you exactly what epic content looks like and feels like. Now, this is all under this video if you're on the webpage, so I'm not going to read all of it to you. I know it's always boring. But you'll see what it looks like and feels like. And the feels like portion, huge. What to create, how to create it. Sometimes we don't create epic content because we don't know how to do the video. We don't know how to do the audio. We'll show you how to do that. How to distribute it. It's not enough to have content if nobody knows it's there. What about social media outlets? What about content syndication? We'll cover all of that this Saturday. We got Q&As. Afterwards, it's a bonus Wednesday, September 26th from 10 a.m. At 10 a.m. they'll start. We're just going to answer all your questions. Live call to answer all your epic content questions. If we were to charge for this separately, it'd be $97. But you get it, and you get the replay if you're not able to make it there live. You can also turn your questions in ahead of time if you're not able to make it live. We're doing one of these bonus sections after each one of our DIYs. We're going to also give you these bonuses. Personality Plus. It's some training that I did at a $2,000 event. And this is going to help you release not just epic content, but how to put that energy into it. 3 ways to turn easy articles into autopilot income streams. And how to improve your information writing. Super critical for epic content. Now your second mission, and I'll send you a video next week about this, but very briefly, enlist paying clients. You don't simply want people opting in, you want people that pay you. It's going to be Saturday, October the 6th. You're going to create the perfect offer. Saturday, October 13th, 9 to 12. Again, replays available right afterwards. I'll be sending you a video on this as well. Now, if you were to pay for all this separately, epic content would be $99. Enlist paying clients will be $99. Create the perfect offer, $99. And the Q&A DIY bonuses, they'd actually be $99 each, but I'm just going to put $99 in there. And here's a huge bonus if you get in by September the 27th. Carrie and I are going to share with you our personal SWOT. Each one of us, Carrie will and I will share with you our number one piece of epic content, what's given us more feedback than anything else. The number one way to enlist paying clients, how we do this, how we get people on our list that actually spend money. And the number one perfect offer, we'll each share one of our best converting offers ever. Now, we're not simply sharing these. We're going to tell you why they pulled so well, because that's what's critical. We don't want you simply to copy exactly what we're doing, but you can copy the principle and it'll work for you too. So that expires at 9 p.m. this Thursday night, September 27th. Now, all this combined would be $493. And our price normally for these three would be $297. In fact, at the end of all three missions, it goes to $297. So you need to know that right now. But we got a $100 coupon. You get all three plus all the bonuses. Plus, if you get in by this Thursday, you get Carrie and I's personal SWOT, and you get all of the bonus Q&A calls, and you get Q&A live during the events. Use DIY SWOT for the coupon code when you check out. You save $100. It's only $197. Listen, for epic content this Saturday, if there were no bonuses, and you just came to the 3-hour training, as you know with Carrie and I, it's going to be more than 3 hours, of generate epic content, it's worth way more than $197. Way more. You're going to get your money back this Saturday alone. So use the coupon code DIY SWOT. We look forward to seeing you on all three missions. We look forward to rescuing excellence, crushing mediocrity, and making you famous in your market. As always, success is not an accident. Be blessed.